Hello and welcome to The Company Doctor. This episode, Gary and I are discussing how to go about getting a job when you don't actually need one, and why this mentality of having more than one string to your bow will stand you in good stead throughout your professional career. We'll uncover the secret recipe for getting headhunted, explore the mystical power of the number 27, and discover what exactly a social butterfly with a rocket launcher is and why you should be one. Enjoy! And if you do, head over to thecompanydoctor.com for more excellent episodes.
Please don't think me presumptuous if I...
Gary, hello, how are you doing?
Hey George, I am superb. How are you doing?
I am fantastic. Thank you for asking.
Are you sure?
I am, I really am.
Well, you're looking pretty cool. I have noticed, people can't see you, that you're not wearing a jamming hat, which is slightly worrying for me. I don't know what's going on, but...
Yeah, I'm just trying a new look. And again, for those who don't know, I tend to wear a hat, whereas I'm trying not wearing a hat. I'm trying to be true to myself this time.
And you've got these kind of cool, trendy glasses, these kind of like see-through glasses.
Yeah.
I like them you look. It's good.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
So it's quite apt, the adapting bit, because the title of today's podcast, as if it's by luck, is how to get a job when you don't need one.
Right. Because I saw that when you sent through your handy notes, and I wondered, why are we tackling this? What is it? What's it about? And why are we focusing on this today?
Yeah, it's kind of a strange one, isn't it? I'll tell you the reason why. I was driving yesterday, which is kind of an odd thing to do for me lately, because I actually got out of the house. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it was just me, but everyone was back at work and everyone was back at school. And the roads it was like the worst rush hour of my life everywhere I went. And I imagine that people were, and I use this with a slight smile on my face, sitting on the beach on their holiday. Oh yeah, they weren't, were they? Reflecting on the future.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have told me, we're going back to work. We need to crack on with life as best we can. It's been a difficult year and a half. Mm-hmm. And I thought this was a perfect time to talk to people about looking after their careers, because it's easier to get a job when you've got one.
Yeah.
I was going to say it's easier to get a girlfriend or boyfriend when you've got one. That'd be a really bad thing to say. I've been married for 23 years anyway. But in principle, we want to give people the confidence to navigate their own career. And we've done various podcasts on getting promoted, how to get promoted without being a jerk, which has been a really popular podcast. But I want to give people another angle that will give them confidence. We're back at work, things are going a bit crazy, but we might have got stuck in a rut. And I want to give people a chance to consider what they want to be doing.
Okay, yeah. And I guess that people tend to fall into the trap of only looking for jobs and looking for prospects when they absolutely have to. And from what I gather, we're going to be saying that doesn't have to be the case, and that things can be going well, or you can be comfortable in a job, but that might be the best time actually to start looking.
Yeah, and by the way, if you're listening and you're a manager and your staff are listening to this podcast, I'm not trying to take your people away or persuade them to leave. That's not what this is about. This is about people managing their careers. Now, it may well be within the business that they're in, but overall, I want people to consider, and it's anyone listening, whatever level you're at, I want you to consider it's all about you. It's not about anyone else. Yeah. And I want to talk to you directly. So if you were looking at me, I'm looking at you directly.
Whoa.
I'm looking at you directly.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, my new look.
I like it.
Okay, so yeah, people are curating the museums of their own life. How do they begin?
Wow, I like that.
Thanks very much.
I love that creativity. I might use that. No, thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I think the starting point, you'll be surprised to hear that we've got 3 sections to this podcast.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. Flabbergasted.
And a bit later on, by the way, I've got the power of 27, which you don't know about. It's not in your notes. I did that to trick you. But there's some amazing stuff around the power of 27, which we're going to come to. But there's 3 parts to it. And the first part is the grand plan, because I think it takes effort to manage your career. And here's an example. When I was young and I hadn't started work, I wanted to be an astronaut.
Okay, I can see it. Yeah.
You can see that, right?
Yeah.
I really wanted to be an astronaut. By the time I hit the real world, it was like, well, that was a stupid idea. It would have been nice. And then I wanted to be a pharmacist, where I came down to earth, so to speak, excuse the pun. Right. And then I found out that you had to do biology and that involved blood. And then when I heard blood, I thought I can't do it. So therefore, why would I want to be a pharmacist?
That's fair enough.
Yeah. And then I ended up doing computers, and that's how I started my career. But the important thing to mention is that we kind of get stuck into a job, and we may or may not like it. I'm not suggesting we don't. But then we're still stuck in that job, and the real world gets in the way, and we don't have time to sit back and think about it.
Okay. So how do you deal with that? Because you're right. A lot of people just fall into something, and we heard from Will Perkins of Deliveroo that he sort of fell into his job. He's incredibly happy where he is, obviously, but some people fall into it, don't really understand how they got into it. How do you navigate your way out of it? Is it just spending time sort of taking a step back, as you say, and sort of reassessing?
Definitely. And I think it starts with, I think it's worth thinking about what I want to be when I grow up.
Yeah.
And am I doing what I wanted to do? Mm-hmm. I'm not saying you should kind of throw everything in and start again, but shouldn't we give ourselves time? Yeah, maybe we should make an appointment with ourselves. I think it feels like Microsoft's taken over our diaries. People put in meetings, Teams meetings, Zoom meetings, face-to-face.
Yeah.
Microsoft puts in an hour. It fills up our day. We're in back-to-back. But do we ever put in a meeting for ourselves to think about either doing things better, faster, in a different way, doing what we want to do? So I suppose the first one is, I recommend to people, I do a lot of coaching, and I recommend to people to spend, you're going to be a bit shocked by this, spend 20% of your time focused on change and your career, and change within the business you're in whatever role you do, and your own career.
Okay.
20% of your time, that's a lot, right?
That is a lot,
That's
yeah.
like one day a week.
Okay.
I don't mean you like take Monday off and then you go and think about what's going on in life.
Yeah.
But I would recommend people spend that time.
Is that something you'd recommend all the time? So, regardless of what stage you're at, just take a bit of time all the time to be considering that?
Yes, and I'm going to give you a reason why. I'm going to finish off with the thing I'm about to tell you about, but I'm going to give you a bit of a clue to it. It's like showing a stocking a little bit, I promise.
Yes, tantalising.
It's a horrible thought, right? Which is the majority of people I speak to in jobs, in any level, and this is quite controversial to say, there's an underlying fear about them losing their jobs. And it affects their behaviour, mm-hmm. and sometimes their effectiveness, to be honest. And that's what creates politics, because a lot of the joining the dots is about what does that mean to me and how will I look and will I get what I want and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to talk about it later, but because of that, that's why I think it's important to create a confidence for yourself. So you're not spending your life worrying about you're taking control. You're almost turning the tables. It's not about them. It's about you.
Okay.
And I want to arm people with that. I don't mean you should be arrogant, but I just mean that,
that's good.
You'll feel more confident about it. And so one of the things, if anyone ever says to me, I'm worried about my job, or I don't like what I'm doing, I want to move. If I ever ask them, what do you want to be when you grow up? They normally don't know, because you don't know what you don't know, right?
Yeah.
So, even in you're in the creative industry, there's loads of things you probably know about, but there's a whole bunch of things you don't know what's available, right? So the starting point, my recommendation is to think about what you really like doing. What's your superpower? What do you really enjoy doing you're good at? Mm-hmm. And think about what you really don't like doing. And that's a great place to start.
Yeah. To
think about the type of role that you like to do. A good example would be, if you love working with customers, then don't find a back-end job that is not going to be in front of customers, because you'll hate it. Mm-hmm. And vice versa.
Yeah. And that's similar to what Lola was saying, isn't it? She had carried very much the same message, where she was like, if you're interested in one particular field, just pursue that element. I think she used the example of dance.
Absolutely. And that's the first consideration, because the truth is you can't navigate your own career unless you know where you're going. Now, you may have to go on a journey to find out what you want, mm-hmm. but I think that's a good starting point. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good.
Good answer. The bit that's connected to that is the mentality. I want people to think about their career in a slightly different way. It's not your manager's job to help you in your career. They should, and we've spoken about that. And Nick Walker on his episode about how to get promoted was really helpful in saying that is the manager's job. But if you forget that and think about the mentality, is if it's going to be, it's up to me.
Yeah. And
we've given analogies of the football team where people are warming up on the bench and the top players are a little bit worried they're going to get taken off. Mm-hmm. Be the reverse. If you're the football manager of your own career, are you warming up the bench for yourself and creating options and a plan B and widening your career and maybe getting back to the things you really like doing? Because we've already discovered in one of our other episodes that people are much better at doing things they enjoy doing. Mm-hmm. So if you're getting far removed from what your superpower is and thing you like, you might not be either enjoying it or doing a great job of it.
Yeah. And so that achieving that mentality comes from spending this time on yourself on a regular basis.
Yeah, we're not just completely on our own. You could lock yourself in a room and have a little chat. Yes, But also, here's another idea, and it's going to come a bit later. We're going to widen the net, but why don't you brainstorm with some like-minded people as well as having a little chat with yourself? And we're going to talk later about networking going right out there, but just even within... Now, everyone's got a subset of people they know and trust that are either in their area of expertise or in a different area of expertise or in different companies even. But just initially, think about your kind of inner circle. Could you brainstorm with some like-minded people? Not saying I'm going to leave, but just brainstorm career options.
Yeah, and I suppose find out if they're in a position that we're talking about here, in that, do they have a plan B? Do they spend a bit of time making sure that they have options? And if so, how do they do it? And I suppose you can get advice from, as you say, from close friends and people in your inner circle.
Well, that's an interesting point, actually, George, because I've done that before, and I unwittingly challenged someone else to go and do the same thing, and then we were almost like in a competition about, we should improve our careers, and it wasn't the intention. But you get people, your motivation can stir someone else, and that's not necessarily bad. If they're a friend, that's not a bad thing, right? Again, I'm not trying to unsettle people to always be looking to leave their jobs. That's not what this is about.
No.
This is about, if you're in trouble, that's the worst time to look for a job.
Yeah, because you're desperate.
Whereas if you're constantly looking at what's out there and being tuned in, we're going to talk about how to do all of that, then you've always got a plan B. It gives you a confidence. It makes you better in your job, and you don't have to leave.
Okay.
But you've got options. That's really the goal. Yeah? Does that make sense?
Yep, great.
Fantastic. Part 2. The part 2 I call the personal SEO. Do you know what SEO means?
I know that it stands for search engine optimization, but I don't think it means that in this. Oh, right, okay.
It kind of does in a way. So basically, for those of you who don't know what SEO is, when you type something into Google, the SEO bit, and by the way, those of you in SEO, I'm sorry, I know it doesn't mean exactly this. It gets you to the top of the search. So one of my customers in the past has been involved in, let's say, hen parties or something like that. If you type in hen parties, you want their company to come up.
Right.
That I won't say who they are, but that's the principle of it. Now, if you think about the same idea for yourself, you want to try and make your name and reputation be known in the market, not through Google, maybe through Google, but mainly when people know, they talk George, they kind of know George is a cool dude and he's super creative in kind of the media business of some sort, and maybe in travel.
Okay, so you want to be the first people for the first name on their minds when they're thinking about a particular skill or field or industry or whatever.
Yeah, I want you to get on the radar. I think this is the way to put it. And I want, and by the way, this is not for everybody. So if you're sitting here thinking, you know what, Gary, I'm very happy doing what I'm doing, leave me alone, then I get it.
But I think that it's for everyone, because even if you are happy in your job, that's not to say that you have this confidence that we're trying to cultivate here. So I would say that it is for everyone.
Right, thanks, George. You saved me. If you don't like it, go to the end. No, not at all. Don't go. Don't bugger off. We love you, but go fast forward. And the reason I've said that is because the question I've got for you listening, the one I'm looking at, not you, but everyone listening, are you serious about your career? And if you are serious, what are you going to do about that? Because here's my little method for you. I've got a little method, as you like. We're going to talk about networking later, but it's called be a pro, be a professional, PRO. And the P stands for have presence, the R stands for reputation, and the O stands for opinion. And I just want to quickly talk about those things. So be present.
Yeah.
Build your reputation. And we've done a whole thing on personal brand, so I'm not going to do it again. And have an opinion, preferably one that's polarizing.
Oh, okay. Why is that? Just to get people to get tongues wagging and to get
because
people
no one cares otherwise, do they? I mean, here's an example. Unfortunately, most of the news, and sometimes it's called clickbait, isn't it, apparently?
It is, yeah.
Where someone says something and you go, oh, have a look at that. And it was, okay. But it's got to be a hook. It's got to be interesting enough. It's got to be annoying enough to make you think about it or comment on it. Whereas if it's all like Happy Valley and everything's beautiful, unfortunately, no one cares. That's why a lot of news outlets have tried to do just good news. No one really reads them, unfortunately.
Yeah, but as soon as it's provocative, the ratings go high. And also, Gary, when you say be present, do you mean physically be present at things like meetings and networking events, or do you mean be? What do you mean?
Yeah, what do I mean? I think yes, but also just be out there. Because if you want to get on the radar, you got to be present in having an opinion, making comments, maybe writing articles. We're going to talk about the how-to in a minute. But all of that stuff gives you a footprint and gets you on the radar. That's really what we're saying.
Makes sense.
So far, so good?
So far, so good.
And so part of the how-to piece of being a personal SEO, raising the bar and being serious about your career is, I think you commented on when I sent you this, being a social butterfly with a rocket launcher.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this all week. This particular section. I just can't wait to find out what it means. I can't even guess.
It's going to be a woeful disappointment, isn't it, really? I'm setting your expectations
But
so high.
you've clickbaited me there, you've hooked me in with the title, so yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're trying to do. So you're aware of a social butterfly, aren't you?
Yeah.
For people listening, a social butterfly is someone who's touching different relationships and being out there and wanting people to know about them. And there's a little bit about them, I suppose, to some degree. But they're making an effort to be present, I suppose, is one way. What we want to do is take that kind of subtle social butterfly and tie a rocket launcher to the back of it and turbocharge your activity as a social butterfly, because this isn't going to happen by accident. If I go back to the beginning, this takes effort.
Yeah.
If you need this to happen, you've got to want to do it. If you don't want to do it that much, don't bother, because it's a lot of effort. Mm-hmm. But if you're serious about your career, you've got to change gears with what you're doing. You don't have to, by the way. If you want to do this, then you should change gears. And having a rocket launcher on your back means that there's certain things you're going to have to do on a regular basis to create this as part of your DNA that probably are, haven't got time for, can't be bothered, don't like doing, all those things. I get it. But unless you do a combination of things, you won't move the dial. And again, it doesn't matter, but if you want to progress your career, then it might help.
Yeah, and it requires hard work, right? There's no shortcut to this. As you say, you do have to put in the time and the effort and follow these guidelines.
Exactly. So I'm going to give you a real example. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to mention any names of anyone, but someone came to me at one of my coaching sessions and said, I've been in the company for 15 years. I know everything about it. People know me, they love me, they think I'm great, but I'm not getting where I need to go. And the only way I can really progress is to get to there's a particular country where this company is headquartered. I won't say where it is. And I'm an expert in my field, but people don't see me as progressing. And actually, it was a lady, and she said, people aren't really giving me the opportunity for whatever reason. And I said, okay, well, let's think about this. My advice was, you're an expert in your field. You're brilliant at what you do, and you've got a fantastic reputation, but you're hiding. You're hiding in the company that you're in. No one knows how great you are outside of your company. Why don't you consider doing something with that, creating a team of like-minded people together in your subject matter expertise area, and create a forum or an event or something, and I'll introduce you to people that do your job in 5 other companies, and I'll leave it to you to do something with it.
Yeah. That
was my advice. That is putting a rocket launcher on your back.
Yeah.
And that person did that.
And did it work?
Yeah, I don't want to say it was all because of me and they're amazing, they've been successful. But that was one of the things that they did. Most of the work they did was theirs, not mine.
Yeah.
But that mentality led them to get A, promoted, B, moved to another country, the country they wanted to go to. And they've gone up more senior in the same company. They didn't have to leave, but they became a thought leader in the industry across Europe at the time. But they did a bunch of other things, and they were bloody good, by the way.
Yeah.
This lady was bloody good and deserved it. But it's just an example. I'm not saying that's if you do that, you'll become successful. But it was just an example.
But it's a good example of what the rocket launcher is, right? It's sort of supercharging this idea of, it's sort of networking supercharged, isn't it? It's more.
It is. And I'm going to talk about networking.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is. It's supercharged networking. But it's also it's starting to tie some things together. So connected to that, you've got to raise your profile. Now, we've spoken about personal brands. I won't go over that in another episode. But in order to raise your profile and have a polarized opinion, you've got to write something somewhere. Mm-hmm. So apart from networking, if you network on your own and you don't work on your personal brand, no one will care if you network with them. But if you're out in the market writing one blog a week or one blog a month, it doesn't matter, on a topic that is your expertise, it just has to be half a page. It's nothing grand.
Yeah.
But have a polarized opinion. Have an opinion about something that is polarized. And you change your profile on LinkedIn so that you're, if you treat LinkedIn as it's a shop front, it's not a CV. Mm-hmm. It's a shop front for you and your capability and what you stand for.
Yeah.
If you do that, as well as getting a team now, if you've got a team together and you've changed your profile and you're writing an article once a month, you're starting to get noticed. And then the final combination of activity on this rocket launcher is engaging with content, because it's not all about you. It's you engaging with other people, like-minded people in your industry, in your network.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
the worst thing you can do is just like someone's post. It's really, well, this is going to sound weird, it's a bit wet.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
wet. It's wet. It's
Yeah.
kind of a, well done, You put your thumb up. Fantastic.
It's a limp handshake. Yeah.
By the way, but you can still like my post. Sorry, don't not like my. But what's more powerful is if you can engage with my content and make a comment about it. And sometimes if you answer questions, sometimes or pose questions or ask people what they think on other people's posts or on your own posts, then you're engaging with the content. And it could be in your company. How often do you respond to a post that your company has made and have a comment about it rather than just saying, I like it because my boss is looking?
Yeah.
But engage in the content. Does that make sense?
No, that's good. And I think that will be, it's more than just sort of good in terms of the algorithm, in terms of getting you noticed. But as you say, it'll start opening a bit of a conversation with other people in your company, potentially. And is LinkedIn, we're talking LinkedIn, aren't we? I mean, that's the one.
There's other things. There's Zing in Europe. There's LinkedIn. It could be Instagram. It could be Facebook. It could be Twitter. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I do all of them. Whatever is the right platform for your background. I think LinkedIn is, in most cases, probably the biggest one that makes a difference. And Instagram's become quite big, but it's whatever works for you. But that either way, you should engage in the content and have an opinion yourself. And again, it doesn't have to be a lot of work. It's once a month.
Yeah.
But if you do it once a month, it's all about the consistency of doing something. It creates a momentum. That's the important thing.
Okay, great.
And then the last section,
Hit me,
is now we've got a whole episode on this, networking ninja.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't want to repeat the episode.
Sure.
But our number one episode, a shameless plug, was Networking Genius. Our number one episode had the most number of downloads. So highly recommend you listen to that. But without having to repeat that, I want to talk to you about, think about it in these terms. What do you think the secret recipe is, George, to getting headhunted? That's the ultimate, isn't it? The ultimate of this working for you is people call you and they offer you a job. How cool is that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's the dream. And whenever you hear of other people getting headhunted, you sort of can't help that little pang of jealousy. Like, why have you been headhunted and not me? But yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I want to know what the secret recipe is. I don't know what it is, but luckily you do.
Well, I may or may not. The secret recipe, you're going to be surprised to hear, is the power of 27.
Okay. We're
It's
linking
coming,
it back
right?
to the, I knew this.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Now, the secret recipe is everything that we're talking about, to be honest, by the way. But the power of 27 is really interesting. 27 is important because if you add all the integers together, so 2 plus 2 to 7,
Mm-hmm.
it equals 27.
Right.
Dark matter, 20% of the universe is made up of dark matter. I know, it's a bit random, isn't it? The number of bones in the human hand, 27. There's a spooky moment in there. There's a thing in there.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
therefore, 27 is important. I'm going to show you what the power of 27 is. The power of 27 is doing something what I call coffee to career.
Okay.
You have a number of coffees that improve your career.
Oh, what, as in meetings? We're talking meetings
Yeah.
here.
I mean, I'm going more physical than virtual now. You can have a virtual cuppa. If you're brave enough, get out of the house. Have a nice time. Walk around the block. Do something else.
Yeah.
But you can still do a Teams meeting. But I would recommend that where you can, if you feel safe, and don't blame me if it didn't work out, that you meet with somebody. No disclaimer. And here's my method for you. 9 people per month from 3 different industries for the next 30 days.
9 people
So
a
it's
month.
9 people for 3 months. Guess what that number is, George?
27.
Yay! You're so good at maths.
I am.
That's my 27, my formula. Coffee to career. So basically, in the networking episode, we tell you how to prepare for those meetings, what you should do. Shameless plug, episode 1.
Yep.
9 people per month, 3 different industries, 30 days. Do it 3 months running, and I guarantee you'll get headhunted. As well as doing your blog, getting on the radar,
Yeah.
engaging in the content. Of the next 3 months, if you do everything I say, send me a personal text message, not you, people that are
Right.
listening, and let me know how it goes. You can do it as well if you like. That's my challenge to you.
That's a great challenge. And how do you? I mean, we won't go over old ground because we did that in the first episode, which was one of our most popular and successful episodes. But a quick sort of rundown on how best to approach people. Is it just do we just fire out sort of LinkedIn messages unsolicited? No, probably not. should we get the warm contacts together and start approaching those guys?
I love it. You're remembering it all. Yeah, so the principle is you don't want to scare people. If you do this on a regular basis, then people don't think you're desperate. People normally only do this when they're worried about losing their job. We want you to do this as part of your DNA.
Yeah.
And it's basically getting in touch with people on the basis, let's catch up for coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And the goal is, when you meet with someone, every person you meet, I want you to reuse what you learned with them with the next person. Think of the value add now you're offering. It's not about you, it's about them. Mm-hmm. So you find out something's happening in a certain industry. When you meet with the next person, tell them about it.
Yeah.
And what you learn from them, pass on to the next person. That's the goal for you. And we'll give you the technique is in the episode, the first episode.
Yeah.
And then what will happen is you'll create a kind of a catalyst for alchemy. Alchemy is turning water into wine, or is turning
metal into gold.
Metal into gold, exactly.
Yeah.
Because what will happen is your networks will collide. If you do this on a regular basis and you reuse everything you heard, all of a sudden people say, "Oh, I met up with George. Yeah, it was interesting. I sort of spoke to George. Blah blah blah." Networks are going to start to collide. Happens to me all the time. Yeah, the other day someone just sent me a message after I did a post and said, "Yeah, now things are getting back to normal. Should we get together for a coffee?"
Yeah,
fantastic. I didn't ask for it, but yeah, absolutely, I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
So my networks are colliding, and that's kind of as a result of the activity. And then my final thing, because I don't want to run over, is I want you to pilot your own path. I said at the beginning that I was going to cover this at the end. If your career is important to you, then turn the tables, be in control. This isn't about, don't be worried about, you should never be worried about losing your job. You should never have that knot in your stomach on a Sunday night when you have to go back to work and they're making you go back in the office on Monday. That's not right. You need to take control. That will give you confidence. Then you'll never worry about losing your job again, because you won't have to, because you'll be in demand. You'll know what's going on in the market. People know about you. You'll have choices. And that's what we're talking about, how to get a job when you don't need one. It gives you the confidence because you won't need one, and you may not take the option to have one, but you're turning the tables and keeping control, and you're piloting your path. The thing that's the most frustrating for me when I coach people is they don't take the initiative to pilot a change. They wait for something to happen. My career has been the most successful during times of change, where I put my hand up, even though it was uncomfortable, and said, let me get involved.
Yeah.
And it's the same here. I think if people put their hand up and take control of their own career, they'll be amazed with what happens.
Yeah, that's really inspiring stuff. And I think, I hope that is helpful to people. And I'm sure that it will be. It's inspiring as ever. And we're going to get your 3 takeaways shortly before.
Fantastic. I'm pleased you asked me for my 3 takeaways. And I'm almost so on time. So
I know.
Unusual. Here's my 3 takeaways. Number 1, are you serious about your career? Because it takes effort. If you're serious about it, then do something about it, because it's up to you. No one else is going to do it for you. No one's going to knock on your door and go, George, you know what? I've got this amazing job for you. Not unless you work it. Secondly, raise the bar on your personal SEO by becoming a networking ninja, and engage with your community and engage with the content and be present. Take the time, write a blog once a month, nothing big, and engage with the content. And the third one is a bit philosophical. I can't even say that this time of the day, right? Here's my final takeaway. The choices you make, not the chances you take, determine your destiny. The choices you make, not the chances you take, determine your destiny. Boom.
I like that a lot.
That's me in a nutshell.
That's fantastic. I feel like that should be worked up onto one of those inspirational quotes on Pinterest or whatever it is.
I feel a t-shirt coming.
Yeah, or a t-shirt, even better. Gary, terrific as always. Thank you very much. We haven't had a t-shirt for a while, so any t-shirt ideas, please do send to thecompany.com and we'll work them up, including any sort of graphics around social butterflies with rocket launchers, which I'd just love to see. Gary, thanks again, and we'll see you all next time. Cheers. Bye-bye.
See you soon.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of The Company Doctor. Feel free to leave constructive reviews on your platform of choice and visit thecompany.com to peruse the back catalogue.